What's going on, everyone? Talon back here, and today we are going to be taking a look at some interesting stuff that is coming to global within the next like 5 to 10 hours, give or take. I'm not exactly sure when things update. Basically, within 24 hours, though, you should have all of this stuff available to you. So it's not a new banner from the looks of it, but Kawhi made a post about whatever data downloads you guys got. So I'm going to go over the stuff as it proclaimed to when we got it on JP and kind of talk about the stuff to maybe could help you guys prepare for a few things, because definitely there are some missions that are going to be coming your way that a lot of people are going to be asking about. So I thought I'd cover that in this video. We'll quickly cover the units as well. Are they worth summoning? Are they not? Or, are they worth it kind of thing? And yeah, let's just get straight into it. So obviously, Kawhi talked about the main few things. The God Goku LR is coming. The Int LR Goku, who's actually a very good card. We'll get into him in just a little bit. The support units, the Int Vegeta and Kid Gohan, those guys are getting their awakening, so that's pretty nice. And then Beerus is getting his EZA, the STR one, I should say. Obviously, the tech one's had one for quite a while. So a lot of stuff definitely coming, which is really nice. So I wanted to go into the timeline, though, because it was a little different than when it came to JP. So when this all started coming to JP, we got the Int Gohan and the Int Vegeta, just like you guys are getting right now, during the same time as the EZA for the Super Saiyan Blue Goku and the Future Gohan being there. I almost said Ultimate Gohan. Sorry, Famous. He's not there yet. He's not there yet. So that was, kind of on point. But then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, hang on a second. God Goku and Beerus came out after Cooler did for JP. So again, that kind of switch up thing that they're doing with global sometimes. So it's interesting to think about. I am curious though right now, for any global players in here, what are you going to summon for the LR God Goku? I know a lot of people don't go for the top banners or the technically the TOP banners or just the regular LR banners. And I personally myself will say don't summon them. They're not worth it. But some people will. And I will say, as somebody who was somehow lucky enough to pull this guy on a single on the Goku Black Rift while watching somebody summon streams, I was generally surprised. So he's actually a pretty good card. He's not obviously needed for any teams or anything like that, but he is definitely fun to run and to use and everything. He's underrated. I will say he's definitely underrated, but he's still a pretty good card. So again, if you're on global or even if you're on JP, let me know your thoughts down below on that God Goku, okay? So anyway, let's go and take a look at, we'll get into the missions in a second. By the way, these missions can also help any JP players that are going to have some help, okay? So obviously God Goku, he is a Pure Saiyans and a Hybrid Saiyans category key +4 stats of 130%. Kind of makes sense since, obviously it was a combination of Pure Saiyans and Half Saiyans or Hybrid Saiyans essentially that helped Goku ascend to the God level, right? He greatly raises his attack and defense for 1 turn and causes colossal damage to the enemy, or for 3 turns if you get his 18 key super attack and he greatly lowers defense. The greatly lowering defense is kind of, obviously whatever, doesn't really matter. His attack is up 77%, key +1 for up a total of 5, and defense plus 11% up to a total of 55%. For every Pure Saiyans or Hybrid Saiyans category ally, and not including yourself that's on the team, and then a high chance to evade the enemy's attack and perform a critical for the first 7 turns that he is available. Now remember, that is of course the 7 turns that he is there. Remember, I believe they've also changed this on global, back on JP a while ago. They changed it to where that 7 turns doesn't mean like, okay, if Goku turns off turn 1, then by the time he comes back on turn 3, oh, that is 3 turns, so sorry. Now it's actually turn 1, that is his first turn. Turn 3, that's his second turn. Turn 5, that's his third turn, and so on and so forth, okay? So he can keep this passive for quite a decent amount of time now. It actually was in turn to the Super Saiyan Blue EZA Goku, because again, that 10 turns for him was just, it wasn't very much, right? So when they changed that, and they changed that in the passives for pretty much every character, that's a really nice buff here for this God Goku before he even came out. So that was pretty cool to see. He's an over in a flash guy. He's got Shattering the Limit, so you're definitely going to want to be running him with units that give those links. Unfortunately, he doesn't have Prepare for Battle or even Shocking Speed, so that's kind of a downer right there, but whatever, it is what it is. I believe his best partner is the AGL. No, it's the STR God Goku, the Dragon Fist one. That is, I believe, his best linking partner, aside from obviously he's not getting Legendary Power, which is only a 5,000 attack link. It's absolutely nothing. And then you're not giving the STR the Fierce Battle, which is kind of unfortunate. But it is what it is. Like I said, he's actually really good on a Realm of Gods team. Pure Saiyans, I've used him a few times. He's not bad out there as well. You just need to, again, focus more on having some over and a flash units, or making sure that he has some support that can work and help him out there. So overall, very good card. But again, I don't recommend summoning on the banner. The banner was kind of whatever, to be honest, when it came to JP. I'm sure it's going to be pretty much the same on global. So again, let me know your thoughts down below if you're going to summon for him or not. Beerus EZA is the next one I'm going to cover real quick. I've never been a fan of any of the Beerus cards, but this Beerus definitely turned things around for him in my personal opinion, and that is the fact that he becomes the Rivals category support unit. So category allies key +2, stats up 30%. He gets a defense up 100% for his own, so that's nice. He can actually finally take a hit somewhat, and then a high chance of the 200%. That's kind of whatever in my personal opinion. But the nice thing is that he is an actual support unit, which is definitely needed for a weird kind of category like this, which is, again, the worthy rival. Again, I didn't realize they translated it as worthy rivals. I thought it was just rivals, but okay. Anyway, it is what it is. So obviously you guys know that this is the Piccolo leader, and then I guess a sub leader is this Tech Vegeta Blue, who has Dokkan Awakened on Global, but not yet on JP. So that's just something to keep in mind right there. The downside to the Vegeta being the leader for this is the fact that one of the only good few support units for this particular team is, funny enough, this Tech Vegeta Blue EZA. So it's kind of unfortunate that he is on there as well, in terms of being just simply normal blue. If this had been like a Vegeta and a Trunks card combined, that would have been a lot better for this guy being a sub leader, because otherwise you have to solely rely on the Piccolo, and then that basically does not allow you to run the physical Piccolo down here, who's actually a very good defensive support unit. So it's kind of in a weird spot. So Beerus definitely does feel that nicely, but again, you don't really see this team run very much. And generally, most people will probably just go and run a Vegeta team, to be honest. I know also Android's 17 here is a decent support unit as well, but most people, there's a lot of just Vegetas on this team, right? And so it kind of makes sense just to simply go, oh, well, why don't I just run a Vegeta family, right? There's tons of leaders for a Vegeta family. There's obviously the LR and everything in here. There's a lot of people who have picked up with red coins or summoned for and all that kind of fun stuff. So I don't know. It's again really nice that Beerus gets this EZA. Just, I can tell you right now from the experience on JP, you're really not going to get much use of him in terms of having that particular category lead, because the category support, simply because you're not really seeing anyone run that particular team. So, and again, most people didn't summon for Piccolo, so it is what it is. Maybe in the future when we start to see more of this particular team and it evolves over time, and maybe, just maybe, they actually finally fix the friend system a little bit more than what it needs to be, that would definitely help out some stuff right there. So anyway, again, let me know your thoughts down below on the category and the character itself of the EZA for STR Beerus. Last two units to go over real quick is going to be the Vegeta and the Gohan that finally get awakened as well. These are, of course, the Int support units. And just as an FYI, that this is basically showing you exactly what the other type support units are going to turn into, okay? In terms of their passive skill, the only thing that will change is going to be what their super attack effects do, because most of them are gaining 2 effective passives on their super attacks, okay? So let me explain. So obviously, Int types key +4, stats up 120%. So this is obviously something very good for the battlefield, or if you're doing super type or extreme type super battle road stages, or battlefield. I realized I said super battle road and super battle road, but bottom line, battlefield and super battle road, these guys are very good for in terms of leaders or sub leaders if you need them to be there. So passive skills, again, are exactly the same across the board. Whatever the type is, so again, for Vegeta, it's going to be Int types, key +3, and then attack and defense up for either the extreme or the super type, depending, again, if you're using Vegeta, Gohan, or the Buu, or other Gohan, or anything like that, is going to give 50% attack and defense to those types. Then they will randomly change 1 key sphere on the field. That's not Ints, obviously, because you want to grab those Int units. And then for every spear obtained, you get attack and defense up 20%. It doesn't have to be Ints, but obviously grabbing the Ints, if you have any amount of ability system buffs into this guy or any of these support units, is going to allow you to heal more. So that kind of works out. They do hit pretty hard. They do actually hit very, very hard. And actually, because of this, STR hits, the extreme STR hits, actually out damages, apparently, the Tech Dokkan Fest hits. So, man, poor hit. I'm not gonna lie, that's brutal, buddy. That is brutal. First you get forgotten by the actual developers in the little global, stream thing that they did, and now this. So, It's unfortunate. It really is. So, but this Vegeta, though, he does raise his attack. So he raises his attack indefinitely. Supreme damage, which is kind of expected. And then he actually has a medium chance to stun the enemy. Gohan, on the other hand, he will cause supreme damage and he raises attack and defense by 30% for 9 turns. So Gohan, again, keeps only one special effect on his super attack, but it is nice because a 9-turn stack, that's pretty long, actually. It's almost like an infinite stack on most events. The only thing you're really not going to obviously notice it on probably is something like a Legendary Goku event or something. But again, that's still pretty nice because he's going to be off rotation most of the time. So obviously, you want to throw some additionals in him if you happen to have him and all that kind of fun stuff. The medals for getting these guys is pretty easy. They're just from simply like the Vegeta one is from the Vegeta Strike events. So overall, not too hard in order to get these guys awakened if you happen to grab them. The big question, though, of course, is do you actually want to use your blue coins, if you have any, that is? Blue coin banners don't come around as often, and that means obviously this Int banner will be coming back. So if you summon on it, that's completely up to you. Most people won't, but again, some people might. If I was gonna say spend any blue coins on these guys if you want to, it still costs a lot to grab these guys. I probably would say no again, because again, most people are not going to actually summon on this banner. But maybe if you summoned a lot on the Heroes banner, the Heroes banner gave you blue coins, so maybe you could go ahead and get one copy of the Gohan or Vegeta if you need to, or hold on to those blue coins for, Tech Tien, the Tech Second Form Cell, Physical Super Buu, Physical Gohan with the Z Sword, that kind of stuff, right? You can grab whichever one you want. They are really good support units for types, but for those of you that don't run type teams anymore or potentially just don't at all, then they're kind of whatever, to be honest, right? So that's what their main strengths are for, all right? All right, so covered all that information. The last thing we want to be going over is the missions that are coming to Global. We got these on JP a couple of months ago, and now they are here for Global to get a lot of free stones. So if you've been playing this game for a while, this is really nice for you because you've probably built up a decent amount of these teams and you can get a lot of these stones, okay? So you get 5 tickets into the Goku banner, and then you get 5 stones for every single time you beat these missions. Now, if I remember correctly, this actually resets, defeating the stages. I can't remember 100%. Someone correct me down below in the comments if I'm wrong, but I slightly remember that these missions right here actually reset in terms of beating the phases. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember exactly, but I remember some of these resetting or something like that. So if they haven't or they didn't, then that's 100% on me. I admit that fault, but if they did, and I remember incorrectly, that is going to be the case, okay? So obviously, that's some decent stones from those particular missions, but the big ones are coming from the categories, okay? So you have to have 6 characters on your team in this particular category, and there is a workaround on some of these that you will be able to use, actually, okay? So obviously, it's 5 stones per category, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay? So 5 times 10, that's 50 stones right there, and then 50 tickets, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I thought I miscounted for a second, okay? So some of these are very easy. Some of them, not so much. They are definitely challenging. I just recently beat the final one, which was the Universal Survival Saga, okay? So let's go through some of the ones I think that are fairly easy in terms of what characters are definitely good for the events and not so good for the events. Now, just by saying that it's easy if you use these characters, if you don't obviously have these characters, then yeah, it's definitely gonna be a challenge. So, and if you guys have beaten it with any other particular teams or characters that I might say is bad, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments and say, oh, actually, I did beat it with this, and I'll be like, oh, okay, that's really cool, and I'll definitely pin that and everything, okay? So let's go ahead and just start off with the bottom one, actually, which is movie bosses. So I want to open up movie bosses here in a separate tab. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to tell you right now, movie bosses, if you have the cards, right? I can technically say if you have the cards for almost any category, yeah, it should be easy. But movie bosses itself actually is pretty nice because there are just some decent free-to-play options / cards that are not considered free-to-play by some people, but because of like red dragon stones and everything, you probably have some of these cards, okay? So Physical Broly is definitely going to be a leader you want to use. Turles, I personally have never used as a leader per se. So it's something, I guess, but obviously he's 150, he's 170 and 130, depending on what the stats are. So he's obviously the leader you want to bring. Bojack is always a good option to bring, but again, I didn't need Bojack personally to beat it if you don't want to. Do not even think about bringing this STR Beerus, obviously. It's kind of obvious, I think. Now, one unit I think that a lot of people are over going to look is this AGL Fury Broly right here when you EZA him. really, really good. Even if you keep him on rotation, because he stacks semi, okay, which is really, really good, and he is going to be able to carry you through most of the events. Int, obviously, at the very end, he's going to get hit hard, but of course, that's where you want to use the items, right? Please don't try to go into these events trying to go itemless or anything. I still don't understand the need for trying to go through a lot of events without items. The game throws items at us, so this Broly can definitely be a good side option if you need to. Obviously, AGL Tapion is also another one if you want to bring him along, but I realize maybe a lot of people don't have him, okay? In terms of a Golden Frieza, EZA Golden Frieza. You might think, Int, Tech, what's happening there, Talent? It actually does work out pretty well for you. Just, again, you might get a little lucky on some rotations in terms of, oh, I got hit here on this particular stage. Frieza's coming back. Oh, no, he's below. He's only going to mitigate by 50% damage. But this guy's clearly better than this AGL one, so it's no competition, okay? Let's see. Let's go and take a look at some other stuff. In Janemba, kind of a big duh. He has been available through who knows how many redstones these days. Most people have them. Again, if you're a very, very new player to this game, then you're not going to be trying to attempt these missions just yet. You want to build up your box first, right? But if you have in Janemba, yeah, it's kind of obvious on that one, okay? And another int unit you can also throw in here as well, because global, you just got this with your EZA, is the int metal cooler. When he EZA'd, giving that extra defense and attack and everything to your extreme units, which again, you're going to be seeing that on a movie boss's team, aside from Tapion and Beerus for some reason. That's really going to help right there. So again, that's definitely someone you want to use, and go ahead and do that, okay? SCR Cooler, I actually do recommend bringing as a support unit sometimes, depending on how you build your team, but again, SCR Cooler's not out on global yet, so I'm just gonna skip that one. This Broly right here, because of his EZA, he's actually a very good unit to use if you need to. You can run him and this Broly together because they share different names, so that's really nice. Or you can bring even this Physical Cooler if you wanted to. Just be careful on the SCR stage, but overall, this Physical Cooler does do some good damage, and he can tank decently. So if he ever gets an EZA in the future, the dude's gonna kick some major butt, all right? All right, so that is movie bosses right there. Again, not a very big category per se, but if you do have some of those units, you can go ahead and beat it. So, movie heroes is challenging, to say the least. You definitely obviously need the AGL Gogeta. I guess you could probably also maybe make a team surrounded with the Go Bros if you wanted to, but that's going to require you to only use units in that particular category, and there's not many in here in terms of being on their particular category that are also in the movie heroes. Obviously, they've got to be a good-sized category, just you want to be a little careful. My personal team that I took when I took this event on was obviously the AGL Gogeta. I also took the physical LR Gogeta. I actually did take these. I took the Great Saiyaman 1 and 2. They're free to play cards, so everyone should have them. I don't have Go Bros, so I couldn't bring them. I know they're obviously really good to use on the event, but I did not bring them, so you cannot go ahead and have to worry about that. AGL Tapion's another good unit to bring, but I actually didn't bring him. I can't remember exactly, but I remember myself personally, I did not bring him. Other movie hero units, I brought the STR Gogeta because of his EZA. He had some decent defense. He was off rotation, but overall he was there to kind of help out with that kind of thing. I'm trying to think who else I brought. AGL, no, that was about it. I'm missing a couple people. Maybe I did bring AGL Tapion, and I kind of just threw him off rotation. Oh, and then the final one's the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. That's who it was. So the Super Saiyan 3 Goku was obviously not having his attack anymore because it's way past the 10 turns, but he had decent defense, and again, he was off rotation, so if I needed him to somewhat take a hit using an item, he somewhat could. So, it is what it is. But overall, that wasn't too terrible right there, okay? Now, I do want to mention one thing as I continue on, as I actually just close that out, so I need to go back up here and keep looking through this stuff as I talk to you guys. But one thing to keep in mind is that if you don't have 6 characters, you're not gonna be able to get the mission, obviously. But if you're having trouble finding a friend per se on a particular category, what you can do is you can actually run somebody like, say, Tech Trunks, for example, because he's a super lead. Obviously, it wouldn't work for movie bosses so much. But if you run a friend who is a stacker and known well good character for this particular event, on top of also having your 6 characters, it actually does work. And I'm going to show you that with this right here. So the Universal Survival Saga. This is the one that took me forever to finally beat, just because of getting unlucky sometimes, not having LR Kale and Caulifla, and so it was a little hit or miss sometimes. So here's what I did for a team. I took Jiren as my lead, And then I came down here and I said, okay, we're going to go with the Evolution Blue Vegeta because he is still a beast in this event, okay? I took the Tech 18, surprisingly, because A, she changes orbs, she heals a lot from those orbs, and she can stack her defense for 6 turns. So she was actually pretty decent. She definitely got me killed a few times, and other times Jiren definitely got me more killed the more I think about it, okay? So she was actually kind of a good side option if you needed to bring her along, okay? Physical 17, definitely a very good unit you need to bring along. We don't have this guy awoken on JP, so this is going to help you out on global right here, the God Bergamo, as you guys all call him. Okay, so he's pretty good because he stacks for 9 turns, so that's pretty good. Where are they? Oh, okay, so this Tech Caulifla here is pretty good. I don't think you guys have the World Tournament prize for the Kale, so if you have to wait, which I had to do actually, and get either her or her, then they help because they stack attack and defense every single time they super attack. SCR Kale is definitely a must because she stacks attack and defense and gives her like multiple super attacks based on who she's fighting. She's basically a baby version of the LR Kale and Caulifla. Whereas Caulifla here dodges everything, but that does hurt her by the time she gets up to int. But again, she's stacking, so if you keep her on rotation, she can definitely help you out there, okay? So anyway, so with this team, I brought Tech Caulifla, I brought SCR Kale, I brought the Physical 17 here, I brought the AGL Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Goku, or Vegeta, sorry. I brought the Tech 18, and then I brought Jiren as my leader. And as my friend, I brought the Tech Transforming Trunks. Now, the reason I did that is because of 2 reasons. A, he gives himself ki every single time he came back around, which is really, really nice. So even though he wasn't getting buffed from the Jiren, and it was basically only getting buffed by himself, he was able to hold his own against int UI Goku, which is definitely really nice. And then everyone else is getting the super buff from him, which is 120. It's better than nothing. So that's personally what I did and what I have seen through other people doing this particular thing. So again, if you are having trouble finding a Jiren friend, I don't know how the UI Goku or the Super Saiyan Blue Evolution, or I can't even speak right now, the Super Saiyan Blue Cow King SCR Goku is going to do. So let me know, global players, how well he works, because again, we don't have him on JP yet. But again, if you are running into that kind of trouble, then bring Jiren, okay? Or bring Jiren as a leader, and then obviously bring the Trunks as a friend, okay? All right, moving on. Transformation Boost. Transformation Boost isn't too terribly hard, but the only problem is that you have Boo as your lead. Now, you could definitely run the Int Ribrianne if you have her. I've seen people use Int Ribrianne as a leader, and then bring someone like the SDR Cooler when you eventually get him as a friend, and that works out very well. Boo is really only good on this event if you can get him to transform into the Boo Icolo, because then you run him as a support unit, essentially. There's a reason Boo has died once Cooler comes out, so you might want to rate on the transformation one, just simply because, again, Cooler's not available yet. I know a lot of people are not going to summon for Cooler. I think it's a mistake, but I know a lot of people won't do it, but it does help to wait for Cooler because he is definitely a beast for the transformation mechanic, or transformation boost category, okay? Full power is actually not too terrible, especially if you have physical Broly. Again, LR Gohan, the Go Bros, LR Kale and Caulifla. Into LR Cell is not bad. Bojack is fine. Evolution Blue Vegeta. Do not overlook this guy in the full power category, especially if you are running the Broly as your leader, okay? This Evolution Blue Vegeta can tank no problem, somewhat. He takes about 13k, give or take, by the time you get to UI Goku. Definitely double-digit damage if you're taking items into effect, so it's not terrible at all. This Goku right here, this Transformation Goku, is good because he mitigates damage. Let's see. Again, Tech Golden Frieza can work on the same thing. Int Janemba is not in the transformation category, so no on him. And there's some other stackers. You got the free-to-play Goku or Vegeta and Trunks unit here. They're good stackers. For some reason the Goku and Gohan are, I guess they're technically not full power, but it is what it is, I guess. SCR Cell, he was added in here. He stacks, so he's definitely really good for this. So overall, not too bad. And again, physical Broly down here, like I talked about before. So again, lots of good options here. Transformation Vegeta, very, very good. Not too bad. You don't have to wait too much for him. Pure Saiyans, I think that's pretty common right there, obviously, in terms of that kind of stuff. Hybrid Saiyans. Hybrid Saiyans is definitely a lot easier, I think, because you can just use Trunks as a friend / leader if you need to. He gives super types, and then just in terms of blockers and everything that you want to be able to bring, find a friend Gohan for this, okay? So if you have Trunks, the Tech Trunks, bring him as your leader, bring this ultimate, or this future Gohan, he works really well because he mitigates the damage and he stacks attack, which is really nice. So definitely Int Gohan here is definitely really good to bring. Obviously, LR Gohan, Go Bros if you have him. I wouldn't rely too much on B-Pan because it's a lot of, you know, iffiness right there. Super Saiyan 3 Trunks if you happen to have him. Very, very good right there. Trying to think who else is really good. Obviously, Tech Trunks is really good, obviously, as the leader. This is a lot harder. Oh, this Gohan right here. If you have this Gohan and this Trunks here, the Super Saiyan 3 guys, they're very, very good in order to use right there. This Trunks is also really good if you are not bringing along another Super Saiyan Future Trunks. So just kind of keep that in mind right there. But this STR Trunks is very, very good for that. Future Gohan, definitely really good. This Gotenks is not too bad actually because of his EZA. So that's definitely something to keep in mind right there. So Hybrids isn't too bad. Thankfully, because of Trunks and the Future Gohan, if you just bring him as a friend. I know a lot of people didn't summon for the Future Gohan, but you can bring him as a friend if you find him, okay? Okay, winding down. Realm of Gods, Potara, and Fusion, okay? So let's go just through Potara real quick because, again, it's not a giant category per se, so you might have to wait on some of the stuff. I think most people probably have been in with Potara, though. Again, especially if you have LR Vegito, and you then obviously bring a friend of that. You bring the Tech Vegito if you want. The Tech Vegito Blue here, he is the best for this one because, again, he's going to stack attack and defense every single super attack, multiple super attacks, which helps a lot, and he definitely kicks butt. Int Goku Black is also a very good unit to bring. Int Zamas is definitely really good. I definitely would bring him over the AGL one, but if you only have the AGL one, I know some meme at this point, AGL is good at this event. Let that sink in for a second. It is good. He is good at this event, okay? Don't tell me he's not, because I've proven it time and time again that he is good, okay? Let's see. Physical Vegito is obviously really, really good to bring along here. AGL is not too bad as well, but you don't have his EZA, so he's not doing much damage. Spring Kai Time, you might think she's not, but she's actually really good to bring onto the team because she massively raises her defense for one turn, so she can survive against Int, no problem, actually. And the Zamas and Gawasu if you happen to have them. So again, I feel like maybe Potara has definitely been beaten by a lot of people. So maybe I didn't really need to keep talking about that one. Fusions. Okay, Fusions was a bit of a tricky one. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so you definitely gotta get lucky with this one. But for Fusions, LR Gogeta, obviously, AGL Gogeta, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, yes, but just don't let him get hit by Ints because he hasn't aged particularly very well. So that's something to keep in mind right there. If you want to bring the Ghost Tanks, go ahead because they, everyone probably gave them all dodge. So that's not something too terrible to have right there. Trying to think what else. This Physical Ghost Tanks, because of his EZA, is actually really good because he gives himself defense for every single super attack that you do, or just every attack in general, I should say. Yeah, when he EZA'd, it was for every, so you get 30% defense for a total of 120 with each super attack performed, okay? So by the time you get up to the STR, the Int UI, he's actually defending decently. Just throwing an item in there, just be a little careful with your rotations and you're pretty much good to go. So he actually does help out, which is really nice, okay? And then, I guess I did that right there. And then other than that, an SCR Gogeta, I guess, would be your final unit to use. It's very limited, so I understand if people skip this mission, particularly right now, because maybe you don't have as many units. So, maybe wait around until this bad boy comes around and he's just going to kick the event's butt. So, that's how it's going to work, unfortunately, okay? And finally, Realm of Gods. This is where AGL Zamas is obviously going to come in. Don't bring into UI Goku because you're going to get destroyed. Do not bring him, okay? Gawasu and Zamas is obviously a very good card to bring along. The SCR Vegito, Tech Vegito Blues, all those Vegito Blues are going to be very, very, very good to bring along with you right there. AGL Gogeta, Transforming Goku, Evolution Blue Vegeta. There's tons of units in this category I think that a lot of you will bring. Global, a lot of you will probably bring this Vegito right here. And then the Goku, which is physical. Yeah, this physical one. Again, very good units to bring along because they stack attack and defense the entire time. And you're pretty much good to go, okay? One thing I will say, do not bring LR, Zamas, and Rose. They don't do well here. They really don't. So just be very careful. Do not bring them. There are other options that you can go ahead and bring. So anyway, guys, long video. I'm really sorry about that, but I want to get through all that information and news for you guys. So again, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments as always. Leave a like if you liked the video. Subscribe if you happen to be new. And until next time, everyone, I will see you all in the next one. And good luck on getting all your stones and your missions done. So I wish you the best of luck. And again, all your teams down below if you've beaten these already. So anyway, take it easy, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.